So I want to have a little chat. I want to have a little chat specifically about GTA 6's release date. And yes, in this video, I am going to attempt to tell you when the release date is going to be. You'll see how that's going to work out later on. But specifically, I wanted to talk about how the release date is drastically affecting the rest of the year, the rest of the games industry, and the rest of the games that you're going to be playing through the rest of this year. You'll see exactly what I mean through this, and it's actually pretty damn wild. You'll see what we're talking about. But as you know, GTA 6 is essentially a landmine. When it comes to this game, it is going to be the biggest release of the year. And not only that, I'd be willing to bet it is going to be the biggest game release ever, and potentially within the first year be the top selling game of all time. I am that confident in that fact. It is undeniable how big this game is, and it is undeniable how big the potential for this game is going to be. And not only does this game truly get one release date, because the game's going to come out and it's going to come out on consoles only. We already know this. 3-ish months later, it'll probably come out on PC. But not only that, when this game launches, I don't think we're going to be getting GTA Online on day one. We'll probably be getting that 2 weeks to a month after the launch. So what that means is that the launch window for this game isn't just 1 week or 1 day or 1 month. It is potentially like 6 months of content that they're going to have at launch that is going to nuke the rest of the games industry. And I have proof of it, and I can show you. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. So we'll come back to GTA, but before we do, I wanted to pull up something that I just kind of put together. It's a list of games. So coming out next week, we have Expedition 33. This, I think, is going to go down as a very underrated game, and we're going to check it out on the channel, and I'll probably have a review up for this one because I think it's going to be a pretty big game. I believe it's a JRPG, but I could be wrong about that. But I think it's going to be a pretty big game, and I'm guessing like 60 hours playtime, so probably a review on that one. And then after this, on May 15th, we have Doom: The Dark Ages. So this is more first-person shooter. I'm looking forward to this one. I didn't love the last Doom, but a lot of people really did. This one, I'm hopeful for. I watched a lot of the gameplay, so that's still early. That's still May 15th. These are the games that I would have assumed would probably have come out around this time anyway. However, Xbox is pushing a lot of their games grouped together, but we'll address that one in a minute. Then we have, well, I don't know why that one's so tiny, but Elden Ring Night Rain, again, May 30th. I don't think that really has any competition. But then we get into the bigger things. We have Nintendo Switch 2. So Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out on June the 5th. And then right along with that, we have Mario Kart World. So when this comes out, it's June the 5th. And this game is essentially the launch game for Nintendo Switch 2. But there's also like a bunch of other games coming. Cyberpunk, you got Hogwarts, a bunch of games coming day one in Nintendo Switch 2. But like the big new one is Mario Kart World. And I think I'm going to be checking this out on day one if, there's a big if, I can get my hands on a copy of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, here's an interesting one. Why does it get so small? Dune Awakening. So Dune Awakening is what I'm worried about. I do not think this game is going to do well. And it's mainly that they delayed it for essentially about a month, just actually a little bit less than a month. And when I see that, it means number one, the game's not ready, or they're avoiding something. But they're not avoiding something because now they're launching on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2, which I don't think these games are going to have much crossover like the Nintendo games in this game. But I am worried about this one. I hope it's good because I think like MMO kind of survival genre needs something. But it's odd to see that. But then the day after Dune Awakening, we have Summer Game Fest. So this is when things start to get interesting because Summer Games Fest goes from June 6th to June 9th. And already before this, the summer is pretty busy. Like, as you're going to see game wise, normally summer is completely dead. But because GTA is coming out at like in Q4 at the end of the year, games have pushed up to summer, and I think there's some pretty big examples of this, one of which I think is Death Stranding 2. I think this one would probably be more slated towards fall, or maybe end of summer, but they're just trying to avoid that altogether, and June 26th. So we'll probably see our first gameplay of that during Summer Game Fest, and then it is launching later that month. So that's like the first game of summer that we're getting. But during Summer Game Fest, I'm willing to bet that during Summer Game Fest, we're going to get a bunch more of announcements for the summer, because it's going to be games that are going to come out this year. And we're going to look at those at the end of the video. And they're going to be announced as to when they're coming out, and people want to avoid, like the plague, GTA 6. Then summer, like I said, Death Stranding 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 coming out July 11th. Then we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that one's July 17th. So just like not huge games. And then August, this is probably the summer game I'm looking forward to most. Mafia: The Old Country. I believe that one is on August 8th. And then Metal Gear fans, you have August 28th for Snake Eater. And then that pretty much brings us to fall. So fall is where things get sloppy, just straight up sloppy, because the last Take-Two game before GTA 6 is Borderlands 4. So Borderlands 4 was announced at the Game Awards, and it was showing off and announced later that it was coming out on September 23rd. Now, what this told us is that GTA was not going to be coming out in September, like a lot of people were predicting, because they're not going to release Take-Two game Borderlands in the same month as Take-Two game GTA 6, because it would kill their own game. And what this tells me is that GTA 6 is not going to come out till at least a month, and I think it's going to be more than that, after this game. We'll dive into that in a minute. As I mentioned, we're going to predict a date. But what this is doing to the industry is then we also have another game, Marathon, coming out the exact same day as Borderlands 4. Now, this seems stupid. This seems stupid for so many reasons. Why does this seem stupid? Because Marathon, especially Destiny, which is Bungie's previous game, is like a direct competitor to Borderlands 4. I would say like those two games being looter shooters, direct competitor. But Marathon, as we know, is not a looter shooter. It's an extraction shooter. So yes, they're going to take some market cap away from Borderlands, and Borderlands is going to take some market cap away from them, which is never a good thing. But what they do know is GTA 6 will not be coming out on that day. It will not be coming out a month before that, and it will not be coming out a month after that. In fact, this might actually be the safest day possible in the fall from GTA 6. So that is one immense circumstance why this game is coming out then. And after this, after September 23rd, we don't know. Because after September 23rd, really no game has announced when they are coming out. And I will show you exactly what I mean by this. If we go to, did I close the page? I think, nope, it's right there. So this is IGN's list of release dates. Check this out. After September 23rd, there are 2 games announced in the fall. And normally fall is pretty busy even at this stage of the year. There's 2 games, and then there's a Dark Pictures game, and there's a Double Dragon Revive, which is a reboot game. But after September 23rd, nothing. Because after September 23rd, that is a possible release date for GTA 6. All of those really are, but we're going to hone in a little bit more. Now, there's also a lot of games that still need to be announced as to when they're coming out. So Outer Worlds 2 on June the 8th, which is going to be during Summer Game Fest, like right in the middle of Summer Game Fest. Xbox is doing a direct. By the way, from the 6th to the 9th on this channel, we are going to be very, very busy. But on the 8th, we have an Xbox press conference, direct, whatever you want to call it. And after it, they're doing an Outer Worlds 2 direct. So I'm guessing this game is probably going to come out in the summer. That would be my best guess. Probably August, early August, to avoid Mafia. Just my guess, or even sooner, because after this direct, I think they're going to want to get the game out there pretty quickly. I don't see this game coming out in the fall. Weird thing is, though, is the studio that makes this game also made Avowed, so they have 2 games in 1 year, which is also very, very strange. But there's more games than that. There's Battlefield. So Battlefield is slated for end of 2025, early 2026, but they straight up said, if our game's not ready and it's going to go against GTA 6, we're just going to delay it. They've already said that. It's the only game that has come out straight and said that. Other games that we still need to know about, Dying Light: The Beast. So this game is slated for this year, specifically slated for summer of this year, and I'm guessing we will get a release date for that during Summer Game Fest. We also have Gears of War E-Day, guessing 2026 for this one. Don't know 100%. We have Ghost of Yotai. This one's slated for end of year of 2025, which I could see this one getting delayed to like February of 26. I could definitely see it. And then one that like we've just been waiting for forever is this one here, which is Wolverine. We don't know when that's coming or anything like that. Also realizing that that register says 1974. Is that when the game takes place? Do we know that already? But anyway, we can clearly see that games are avoiding that end of year, just like the plague. So games are getting pushed forward. That's why this year has already been so busy. And then games are going to get pushed back. I think we're probably going to have like the busiest like February, March that we've ever seen, even though February is generally already pretty busy in the games industry. Now, as I mentioned, I am going to try to predict when this is coming out. So traditionally, does anybody know what the importance of April 29th, 2008 is? That is when GTA 4 came out. It's a Tuesday. Similarly, GTA 5 came out on September 17th, 2013, which is a Tuesday. Then we have Red Dead 2, which came out on October 26th, which is a Friday. So I was trying to look for any correlation of specific days they will release on. And I think the honest answer is probably a Tuesday or a Friday, which leads us to a calendar. So this calendar will show us October. So anything before the 23rd of October, I do not see GTA coming out, which leaves us with the last week of October. So either if we're going with the Friday, Tuesday theory, the 28th or the 31st, possible. I think the most likely date is the 4th or the 7th. Those are my most likely dates, or the 11th and 14th. That kind of block right there, I think, is the danger zone. Now, one other thing that we have coming this year that I didn't put in that slideshow because we haven't really heard about it yet is Black Ops 7. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow on the on Ink Slasher about Black Ops 7. But we haven't heard anything about Black Ops 7. Now, based off of GTA, if we're just basing everything off of that alone, I truly believe that Black Ops 7 will get launched earlier this year, probably second week of October, maybe even first week of October, and take some market cap away from Marathon. Like maybe I could see like October 2nd, just to stay away from the end of October, early November time period. Because I really don't see if they go head to head with GTA 6, it'll be the worst selling Call of Duty game in a very, very long time. So I don't see them doing that. They're not going to delay their game. So that leaves us with pretty much early October for that one. I think if there's any game that the release date is going to have the biggest impact because of GTA 6, it's going to be Call of Duty. I really do believe that. So as I mentioned, that essentially leaves us, I believe, with the 4th, 11th, 7th, or 14th for the release date. And then if they do, say, for example, the 4th, I think they'll do like the 18th or 21st for GTA Online, something along those lines, because they're going to want GTA Online before Christmas. They're going to want all of that to be out before Christmas. So with like a solid gap in between. So I think November is the month. 4th, 11th, 7th, or 14th are the days. Watch me be wrong, and they'll announce the release date like 6 hours after I put this video out. I highly doubt that, but yeah, we still don't have trailer 2. The games industry is so strange this year. Like doing what I do this year and focusing so heavily on the news this year, like I never have before, like outside of Call of Duty. It's wild to see this because I followed the games industry for years and years and years. I just haven't like reported on it. And now that I am, it's like, this is a strange year to do this. Like there's no predicting anything this year, and it makes it kind of fun. And I think it adds some quality to the content. But yeah, GTA 6 release date, messing everything up for everyone. But I think we should be excited about it. Everyone is excited about it, and it's fun to be a part of. So if you want to lock in for that, hit the subscribe button, turn notifications on. Let me know what you think about everything that I said. Oh, one other thing. Switch 2. I've heard a lot of people say that it got released early because of GTA. I don't think that's the case. Switch 2 coming out in June. I think they probably actually wanted to come out early. The last time they launched in Q4 or the end of the year was with the Wii, and no one could get their hands on a Wii for Christmas, so they lost a lot of sales because of that. I don't think they ever want to do that again, so hence why we're not seeing that. I don't think that one's a GTA thing, but everything else pretty much a GTA thing.